Our background is kind of interesting. We worked at a little independent shop in Australia called the Glue Society, where we also directed all our own work and kind of crossed barriers in that sense. And then we worked at Droga in New York, which is kind of a idea neutral place. So we had the freedom to come at anything from any direction. From that, we've tried to kind of replicate that thinking in Sydney, where even though our company essentially is basically 6 separate companies, we have one creative department, which basically services our 2 different PR companies, our shopper marketing company, our digital company, and obviously everything else in between. And I think from a technical point of view, all of those companies just report on one bottom line, so it doesn't matter where the revenue goes, which helps us to just create ideas that we want or think are right. Also in our creative department, we've got coders, designers, lots of different types of designers as well. We've got animators, so we kind of make a lot of stuff ourselves, which is kind of important. But everyone is in this big kind of mess of a department, which is quite good. And yeah, that C word, the collaboration word, is we have a saying on our wall which is none of us is as good as all of us, which is a very old saying, but it's kind of true as well. The back side of that is you need the right type of people. Sorry. So we have another policy, which I probably shouldn't say out loud, but it's no dickheads, no bullshit, and no politics. And if you strike out on any of those, we kind of don't encourage you to continue working with us anymore, because it needs to be everyone pointing in the same direction. So yeah, a little brutal, but it's quite good. We've been quite lucky in Australia. I think most of the marketers are willing to take risks, more so than what I've noticed overseas. So there's a lot of Aussie work and New Zealand work for that matter, that is kind of winning at Cannes this year. And I think we're so small and so isolated that we're kind of allowed to get away with a lot more, particularly on some big brands, which I think is really healthy. It'd be awesome to see, you know, more risks taken around the world, to be honest, because I feel like it's very safe to just, you know, book a media strategy that you know is going to get the right amount of eyeballs and then fill it with something. But there are other ways to do it. There's an awesome backstory to that. John Mescal, who's the creative guy who wrote that, is such a lovely bloke, and you know, he's 45 roughly, you know, and you can still pull him out of the bag. I think that's amazing. It's really fresh. It looks like, you know, yeah, it's a good piece of work.
It's amazing how many car parts other insurers may consider extras and don't automatically cover. Your metallic paint, air conditioning, or even your floor mats may not be covered. We've discovered so many parts that aren't automatically covered, we created a car using them. If you don't have NRMA comprehensive car insurance, parts of your car may not be automatically covered. Visit us or call 132 132 to switch today.
NRMA Insurance. Experience the difference.
That's, yeah, the biggest insurer in Australia, so that was good, and they took a big risk with that. We told them that we could definitely build a car, but we didn't know because we'd never built a car before. But yeah, they allowed us to build it live, and I think it took about 4 months to build that car from end to end, and there was about 30,000 different parts that weren't designed to fit together. So it was kind of interesting. And a South African worked on it as well, Asheen Naidu. So that's good as well. Good for South Africa.